Right, so we're going to simplify ratios with different units now. So if the values in the ratio have different units, we must first convert the numbers so that the units match, and therefore we can totally get rid of the units. So, for example 1, we want to simplify 2 centimeters to 10 millimeters. So we want to convert one side of the ratios so that the units match. Now it doesn't matter if we want to put that all into centimeters or all into millimeters. But what I like to do, and what I think most people are going to like as well, is multiply. So always multiply and make the numbers bigger. It's easier than putting decimals and making them smaller. Because we can always simplify after, and that's no big deal after, but sometimes putting a decimal in can confuse some people. So let's think of centimeters and millimeters. So 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. So that means that 2 centimeters, so we're going to go 2 times by 10, so we get 20 millimeters. So that means our ratio is now 20 millimeters to 10 millimeters. So we're going to write that then without units for step 2 as 20 to 10. And we can simplify that, right, using our techniques for simplifying. So what can we divide both by? Well, we can divide both by 10, right? So how many times does 20 go into 10? Well, 20 goes into 10 twice. And how many times does 10 go into itself? Well, it can only fit into itself once, right? So let's try something a little bit more challenging. So we have 1 hour and 73 minutes. We have to simplify this. So once again, like I said, it's often easiest to go bigger. So how many minutes, sorry about that, how many minutes are in 1 hour? Well, we know that there's 60 minutes to 1 hour, so we don't even have to really do the conversion sometimes. You can just simply state it if you know what it is. So I'm going to state that there's 60 minutes to 1 hour. Sorry, 60 minutes, not to 1 hour, to our 73 minutes. I just had said that we can skip that step. So 60 minutes to 73 minutes. Okay, so at this point, we have to start thinking, well, can we divide by 2? Well, no, because one's even, one's odd. So we can't divide by 2. Can we divide by 3? Well, we know that 72 is in the 3 times table, so no. 4, it's even, doesn't work. 5 won't work because it doesn't end in a 5 or 0. 6 isn't going to work, right? 7 isn't going to work either because 7 times 10 is 70. 8 won't work. 9's not going to work because we know 9 is part of our 3 times table. 10 won't work. 11 won't work. 12 won't work. Right? So soon enough, you might have to start thinking, can I actually simplify this at all? So sometimes when you actually can't simplify the numbers, you might be done. They might look like really big numbers, but you could be done. Okay? So just think about it sometimes. You might actually have been done all along. So sometimes all you can do to simplify is get rid of your conversion. So example 3, I want to get my pounds into pence. I know that there's, 100 p to 1 pound, right? Sorry. To 1 pound. So that means to get this into p, I know that there's 175 p to 50 p. Right? I'm going to notice this for my simplifying. It ends in a 5 and a 0, so I know I can divide by 5. Right? That's a little trick. If it ends in a 5 and a 0, you can divide by 5. And we can also drop our p's, right, at this point. So how many times can we fit 5 into 175? Well, that's 35 times. And 5 divided by, or 50 divided by 5 is 10. So you might be looking now and go, well, I think I can simplify this more. We can divide by 5 again, and we are simply going to get 7 to 2. And there's no reason that you couldn't have done this in one step and divided by 25, right? But some people might like doing it in these little steps. Lastly, for example, we're going to simplify some lengths again. So 1.2 kilometers to 3,000 centimeters. So sometimes it might take a few steps to get to what we want. We know that there's 1,000 meters to 1 kilometer. And we also know that there is 100 centimeters to 1 meter. Right? So, what does that mean for us? Well, that means in 1 kilometer, we can do 1,000. And this just goes back to unit conversions. 100, so we get 1 0 0 0 0 0, which is 100,000 centimeters for 1 kilometer. Okay, so that just means we're going to do 1.2 times by 100,000. And that'll give us 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 120,000 centimeters. So we can write this as, finally write it as our ratio. So most of this question wasn't actually even to do with ratio, more to do with conversions. But we use conversions actually a lot with ratios. So we have 120,000 to 3,000. And so, well, what I see first that I can do is such. So anytime it ends in zeros, get rid of a 0, right? So we can always cancel out a 0 on the left, a 0 on the right. When we're just comparing. Same thing. And we have one more 0 we can cancel out. Now, this looks like a little bit more manageable thing that we're asked for. Well, can we simplify 120 to 3? Well, yeah, we can divide both by 3, right? Because we can put 3 into itself, and we could put 3 into 120. So here, we're going to get that it is 40 to 1. That all simplified. Okay. So here's 5 questions for you to try out. Once you are ready, press play. Sorry, my apologies. This isn't actually the proper slide. Give me 1 second. I'll switch it. There we go. So that should have read simplify. That was the problem, not in that form 1 to n. So simplify these, and then once you're ready, press play, and we'll go through the answers. Okay, so let's go through the answers. 5 millimeters to 1 centimeter. Well, let's rewrite that first as 5 millimeters to 10 millimeters. Then we can divide both top and or left and right by 5, so we get 1 to 2 as our final ratio. Now, how many? We're going to do 5 times 60 to get this all into seconds. So 5 times 6 is actually 300 seconds. And that is 600 seconds. So we can divide both by 300. And we get our end ratio as 1 to 2. once again. What about this one? Well, we know that there are 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram, so in 4 kilograms, there's 4,000 grams. So you don't always have to show your conversions. We do all the work in conversions to help us save time after. So here, 4,000 to 5,000, and so we can drop our grams, and then we can get rid of our zeros. 3 on the right, 3 on the left, so our end ratio is simply 4:5. Here, let's get rid of our pounds, and we'll write this as 200p to 40p. Let's get rid of our p's, and then get rid of a 0 on each. So we now have a more manageable number. So if we're looking at 20 to 4, well, we can divide left and right by 4, and we get 5 to 1. So I'm going to just go back and box some of the values, the answers, just in case. And lastly, this one. So in 1 liter, there's 500 milliliters. So saying that, we have 500 milliliters to 500 milliliters. So, well, we can just write that as 1 to 1, right?